Welcome back, welcome back. Yo, yo, yo. Restarting in about 9 minutes here. What's up, what's up? Yeah, I think we're just gonna wait for a couple more people to join up. I tend to start the stream slightly earlier so that like people get the notification on their phones that, you know, that the stream started and whatnot. So yeah, we'll see. I think Don didn't stream again today. It's quite rare that he doesn't stream 2 days in a row after like knowing that he wants to stream, but it's right. Hopefully we'll see him tomorrow. Oh, bank holiday tomorrow for the US. 23rd of November? Is that a bank holiday? Oh, it is Thanksgiving, so probably no trading tomorrow as well. Because Thanksgiving, right? So it's probably less volume. Probably be weird as fuck in terms of like how the price is gonna move. So probably no trading tomorrow. And the last day will be Friday. It's actually quite nice then. You get like a bit of a break in the middle of the week. Starting in about 5 minutes, guys. I think I should always just write a bit of stuff here. Hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone. Saw zero trade day, nice. Zero trades, 2Bs. Yeah, like when you don't have time, it's fair enough. Took another L today actually. I think I was in a sell. I was in a buy around here. These sorts of areas. Zhao no top wick. Looking for this to flip to go up. Never did. Came down. Yeah, that's about it. I think I took some. I took a couple trades in the morning when I literally woke up. I took these. No, news candle was this. So pushed down, then rejected. And I had no top wick there, so you know, in hindsight, probably not the best idea, but yeah, news candle was before and then it pushed down. I was thinking, okay, it might need more liquidity to start pushing. So I was expecting a break of these highs if it wanted to come down anyways. But it didn't, so it just pushed. So kind of like delayed news action, right? Cool. We have about 3.5 minutes until I'm gonna get started here. So news at 3 p.m. I think this was there news at 3 p.m.? No, I think this wasn't news. This was just price moving. This was news at 1:30. Yeah, no sells because no top wick, right? But I was looking for the buys to go up to create that top wick. Because you had this rejection, you had this rejection, and I was like, okay, you know, what would be potentially, you know, if price wanted to push up, you have this liquidity, potentially needed to break these lows. So I stacked, I think here, somewhere around here. I had the chance to go break even here, but I think I ended up hitting stops. But the stops I wanted to use was here, but it was a little bit steep. It was like from around here to here. It was like 150. It's a little bit steep. To be honest, I feel like a stop loss, right? It should be very flexible. Like, for example, if it comes down to all the way to here, but it's showing you good signs, right? Like, for example, you start ranging in these sorts of areas, and then you just bottom wick down to these areas. I would, at that point, consider moving stops slightly lower, but it needs structure. So, yeah. In about a minute, we're gonna start. Where did my text go? Oh, it's here. You had one loss with this tight stop loss. Fair enough, fair enough. If you like using tight stop losses, then that's good. Alright, we're gonna prep for us to start doing the stream and the breakdown. How many days of the month do we have left? Today's is 22nd. We have 2 days left of this week and then 4. So 6 days in total. Tomorrow is a bank holiday, so kind of 5 trading days, I would say, that's left. Five trading days. Cool, guys, I'm gonna get started here. So welcome. I think we have 10 people as well. So welcome back. Gonna do an analysis again on gold here. So monthly, again, we always start with the monthly, but you're flipping, right? You flipped, I think, a couple days ago, but you haven't started pushing anywhere. So, you know, in terms of the monthly movement, anything can happen, right? Anything from kind of breaking above for this month and then continuing upwards, or coming back down to fill the entire range. Both can happen. There's no kind of predicting what it's going to do, and we try to react to price, right? So just wait for the monthly to close, which is in about 6 trading days. So next week, next Friday, that's when December 1st is here, right? So just wait. Right? There's no need to think about, oh, okay, it's going to do this, so just take a buy to go up, or oh yeah, it's going to reject, so take a sell, right? But how it looks, right? You've created a bottom wick, and now you're flipping bullish towards the end of the month. So there's probably a high chance this will continue pushing up, right? Does it have enough liquidity to break above? We don't know, right? But we can tell on the smaller time frames based on, you know, past data and current data. So that's just what you have to kind of keep in mind for the monthly. Not too much. But okay, the weekly has also flipped, right? Bottom wick flipped, but you also started rejecting, right? So you tapped around 2007, but you didn't really push further up yet. So at any given point, price could just start rejecting here, right? Because you have a strong support here, sorry, a strong resistance here. So at any given point, price could just close similar to like this week, right? We still have 2 days left, so wait till it actually closes. But price is at a decision zone, right? You've tapped into the highs, you're now back into this range. So any given point, it could flip, right? It can flip to start coming down to retest these lows. So again, both I would say the monthly and the weekly time frame have already tapped into like kind of where our advantage points are, or areas of interest. So now we need to wait for price to make a decision on these higher time frames, and that will be in the form of a weekly closure and a monthly closure for those higher time frames. But we also have daily 4 hours to kind of look at, right? So in terms of our dailies, we currently, I would say, you may have a range around here. So yeah, maybe something around here. Okay, cool. I have a level towards 1989, which you've just about closed respecting. I think just about, yeah. So because you've closed respecting any given point, we're expecting price to potentially start driving up, right? But we're going to need liquidity, right? So what is that going to look like? It's going to be in the form of potentially a candle that looks like this, comes down, breaks the lows, right? Breaks this low and potentially makes a low for this previous daily candle, a flip, right? And then we'll look for this to retest those highs. So what can we look for on the smaller time frames? Probably some of these sells to come down towards these areas, right? What does this area look like in terms of liquidity? Anywhere from after you kind of respected this here, grab liquidity towards these areas, potentially even further down towards these areas. But I would say this is not too bad at the moment, right? Because then you're breaking some of the lows. Ideally, you can get it below here, so you might get some pineapples around here, or even slightly lower around these sorts of areas. Your next, here's a little bit too far, but it still could come down to there. But I'm expecting some more liquidity to get grabbed below these areas, so somewhere around here, right? So we can probably look to take some sells to come down, because this is the higher time frame, right? This small range here is about 70-80 pips, so there's a lot we can actually do there. And if we're expecting that liquidity before we're able to drive up, then cool. Once we tap into those levels, then we'll look for those buys to continue up. But until we tap there, we understand that it's difficult to take any buys to continue breaking the highs, right? So on the 4 hour, let's have a look. I'm going to remove all these lines for now and then drop some 4 hour supports. So you have this, which you've just broken below, right? And then you probably have something around here, and maybe move it slightly further down around here. This up a little bit, so somewhere around there. So cool. If you're now breaking into this range, I'm expecting price to be able to fill down to around 1983, right? So where are we expecting that bottom wick? Somewhere around these sorts of areas, right? So let's mark this up again. So around here, what does that look like in terms of our 4 hour, right? So last time you pushed up to these areas, right? You pushed, you came down to these areas. I was expecting that top wick to grab liquidity, but I guess this maybe was it, and it's coming down. It's coming down. You're probably looking at wick rejections somewhere around this level instead. So I'm just refining it as I go, right? So now this is a 4 hour level that I'm potentially looking at. For it to come down, tap into these areas for liquidity before you're able to drive up towards these areas. So you can take advantage of the sells to come down potentially, and then once you tap into 1977, potentially some buys to go back up, right? So where I'm interested in is somewhere around these sorts of areas. Let's see in the past if something like that also happened. So we were coming down past these areas, you came down, tapped liquidity, so even this is not too bad. These mirrors, right, where you tapped, but you grabbed liquidity towards 97. Did you grab liquidity this time towards 97? Yeah, you grabbed it higher, right? So that's fine. But cool. So that's where I'm looking at for the hourly. So to get those, what am I going to need to see? Probably some sort of top wick. Let's see if the hourly printed anything that we can use. So you came down, you respected all of this, you had this. Okay, cool. Price just seemed to just drive, right? If it just drives, it's slightly more difficult for us. But now let me just refine this line a little bit more to find exactly where it would potentially tap. looking at this. I'm gonna move it to here, guys. So I'm gonna move this and have a buy wick around here, understanding that if you do get sells to continue down without breaking highs, right, similar to this, you came down, right, you tapped into here and then you started coming up to break the highs. I'll look for the buys as it's doing that because I'm expecting liquidity to get grabbed if it wants to continue, right? But once that happens, we'll be looking for potentially a fill of 1983, you know, maybe runners towards 1991. But then after this, you know, I'm probably out, right? If it does then have, you know, if you then close above, whatever, then cool, we'll look for some more liquidity to grab to continue up. But until that happens, right, this is what we're looking to catch, right? This first part of the move here. So the sells to potentially come down, and then the buys to go up to about there. Right, so how can we get sells is now my question. I'll need a break of the highs, right? I'm understanding you close back into here. I'm looking for sells around here actually. Relatively straightforward today. I'm selling around here. So why? You've broken into this range, right? You had a range around here. At some point, you had a range about there, right? You broke above all the range, breaking the highs to come down. So I'm expecting something similar, a break of the highs to come down. So anywhere for me, it's going to be anywhere between here, and about here. This entire range, anywhere between 93 and 94 is my sell area that I'm looking at. Understanding that last time you tapped into these areas after closing below, it's not bad. Like, so let's have a look in the past, right? Look at these, right? Anywhere between 93, 94, even this, you probably have stop loss above all of these highs anyways, but as it's coming down, you typically push quite hard, but it's looking like it's ranging at the moment, so it probably needs a little bit more liquidity. You have this fake out here, right? Liquidity for us to fill the range. So yeah, that's probably what I'd try to look for. Let's see if there's anything we can use around here. Yeah, liquidity around these areas, right? I mean, if it does come up all the way to 96, I might get a pineapple. 96 or potentially 97. I'm standing at the top of this. So mark this up as well. So if it does come back up to this area, I'll look for a second position, potentially. I'll move this slightly down. A second position around there, 96. But like I'm expecting something like this, right? Where you grab liquidity to come down. You've broken back into this range, right? So you're in this range. You want it to continue filling down, so you grab liquidity here. In this case, you grab liquidity to grab liquidity to go up, right? But that's what we're looking for. So the sells there at the moment, they're looking pretty good, because you're basically in. You have. Let me actually drop down to the smaller time frame. So if I get rid of this for now, you'll see that you have some 30 levels, right, being formed. Probably around like these sort of areas. It's a little bit messy at the moment, but this is a fake out, right? Coming up, you tapped into this area, this wick here, so you're respecting this now, right? After grabbing some liquidity. So I'm expecting this to be enough for you to potentially fill this range up to here. And then once you do that, once you get this, right, I'll be looking for something respecting and then potentially a break to come down like this. So that would be my ideal position, right? And the sells here, I would probably close full. We break even at least here, right? At 92, that's 20 odd pips. Runners potentially towards that 75 area, but that's going to be difficult. You'll probably end up closing full if it even gets down to 1985. But that's the analysis for the sells to come down, and the buys after that make a lot of sense, right? But yeah, essentially that's what I'm looking for. Am I worried that potentially price has already tapped into these areas to come down? Not as much, right? Because you haven't really come down to fill this part of the range yet, so you haven't broken into this, and we're understanding that on the 4 hour and everything, on the daily especially, you're going to need a bottom wick, right? You've closed respecting, so you're going to need a bottom wick that breaks 87 to start coming back up, right? So I'm expecting those breaks to actually even come down further below 83. So if that is the case, right, if you don't get those buys, like somewhere below here, right, so around 81 or whatever, but ideally around here. This is not as safe currently, I would say. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for. In the case that the only way I can get buys at 83 is if price shows me that it's rejecting, but I'm expecting price to probably come down to make a bottom wick for this candle, right? If it doesn't and it just starts going back up, right, something like this, then we'll look for some bottom wicks in these sorts of areas to start retesting those highs, because I'm understanding that this down to 83 is suddenly very far away, so you need to grab more local liquidity to continue. But those are the buys and sell. Currently, I would say these are my two levels. I don't really have anything else. Can I get sells below, maybe below 83? But it's difficult because at any given point, the sell below 83 could just be a fake out because the daily closed respecting 89, right? If you do come down, I'm expecting price to come down, right? But if it does start closing below on the hourly or whatever, oops, that is green. So if you start closing like this, and then you have like another candle which is like this, right? Even if it has like a bit of a bottom wick, I'm worried that the next candle is just going to do something like this, right? A break of all the lows, and then start coming back up, and then you might get this as a liquidity grab so that you can start retesting these highs, right? And if that's the case, I don't want to be stuck in the sells below here. So what I'll need, right, is probably something that looks like this. A bullish candle respecting on some higher time frame, and then your next candle breaking some of these highs into these areas, and then a sell, and we'll look for the flip to come down, right? So if that happens, then cool, that's what I'll be looking for. Or if you get potentially, as this bullish candle is printing, you actually get a top wick all the way here, right? And then it closes like this, and yeah, I might even just get some off the rips, because I'm understanding that if you just combine the two candles, you might not even get that steep of the top wick. You might just get something like this, and then you start driving. So that's what I'll be looking for. And in that case, if it does close like this, I'll take those sells again below here. But at any given point, I'm worried about the fake out, right? Especially if you look left. If I just get rid of this for 1 second, you see this was also a fake out, right? But this just came down all the way to here. So at any given point, it could just not, right? Like all of these candles here, all of these were fake outs on the lower time frame, right? So I'm pointing at these ones here, right? All of these are just lower time frame fake outs to go up. So that's what I'm worried about, right? So that's why I need that confirmation that it's going to come down, right? But once it does that, yeah, we potentially will have some positions to continue breaking below, right? Any of these breaking below, grab top wicks before coming down anyways. So once you get a top wick breaking certain highs, then yeah, we'll look for the flip to come down. But that's essentially what I'm looking for today. In terms of the order of these positions, I'd say sells are probably going to be first. If you do come up to those areas, I'll look for those sells. At the moment though, the 4 hour has closed respecting this. You have closed generally below 92, and every time you have, right, you grab top wicks to come down. Looking at this as well, looking at this top wick as well, right? So any given point, right, the sells probably will come down to around 83, which is where probably your TP will be, right? If you want to leave runners to 875, then you can, but I'm definitely closing full here if it happens. But I'm just thinking about, is there any chance that price will just start driving up from here? By the looks of things, it's going to be slightly less likely, because you haven't really had much, respecting these areas besides this one. Just get rid of this real quick. Besides this one case here, right? But in this case, you tapped into here, which you already have. So if you grab the sells at about these areas, you're taking advantage of this entire section here, right? And it even came down towards around 87 again. So that's what you're looking to catch, right? So the move is from here to around here. So about 46, 47 pips. It's not too bad. Hey Huts, how you doing? But yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Pretty straightforward, I would say. I'd say you potentially have some lower time frame change of structure, right? You came up, new higher high, higher low, didn't break, lower low, right? So if you do get this, we're expecting this to come down, and this buy is going to be at least towards here, or potentially this is going to be our change of structure because this is enough liquidity on the daily, right? So that's this line literally shows exactly what I'm looking for. Taking advantage of this sell here, and then I'm taking advantage of this buy to come up to here. That's about it, right? And then that's all I can analyze for now. And then as price continues to build structure, right, we'll see how this changes, and how we can adapt to it. But that's what I'm looking for. So cool. Zoom boys are free. You guys can unmute yourselves. Well done. You have earned that right.
Yo.
What's up?
Hello.
Yo.
Yo.
Jacob, you catch anything today?
Yeah, but I don't think it was a good position. It was basically a FOMO. It was I closed it right away too.
Oh, okay. That's good, right? You close right away after identifying that it's FOMO. That is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was at 1991.43.
91.43. You took some sales or something?
Yeah. And I feel like I was just having FOMO because my original position would have been like, because I wasn't on the charts and then I had came back.
Yeah.
My original position would have been like here, like once we broke there.
Right. Yeah. Fair. Yeah. Fair enough, man. I mean, as long as you identified it, right? That's the most important thing.
Right.
Yeah. The actual position doesn't matter, right? Because as long as you know.
If I close it right away, it doesn't mean shit.
Exactly. But like the fact that you know that's.
Well, it
FOMO,
does, but yeah.
Yeah, like to some degree, but like the fact that you identified it and then you're like, okay, it's not like the best setup for me, then yeah, just exit it, right? If it's not your setup, not your entry, then shouldn't be your trade.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty good. Any questions about price action, guys?
Did you take? What were your positions?
Yeah, I took an L today. I took a buy around here, I think, somewhere around here.
What were you looking for?
I wanted this stop here, but it was like 150. I think I was here originally, but then basically what I was looking for was as this came up, this hourly started pushing so aggressively here. Look at this.
Pretty sure that was a news candle.
There was news at 3.
Was there news at 3?
Revised your consumer.
So I got fucked. I didn't even know there was news. Fuck. Okay, I got fucked by news. Anyways, essentially I was looking for this, right? Because I didn't think it was news, right? So I was looking, oh cool, you're grabbing some very steep liquidity, 5 no top wick. Yeah, we're gonna fucking flip. Yeah, now that I know it's news though, I guess it's not too much of a problem.
I mean, now that you know it's news, would you have taken
Definitely not.
sells instead?
No. The sells? Yeah, I probably would have taken some sells below here.
Yeah.
Oh no, below the news candle. Yeah, I would have taken sells here.
Okay.
Because if it was news, right? If news came down here, didn't break the low, and then it was showing it broke all these lows, right? You broke all these lows, and then you came back up, rejected, didn't break the highs, break the low again. Well, you broke all of these highs, right? All of these here, you broke, and then you started ranging
the
around
original
here.
news candle, the top wick, I guess, as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I would have taken. Fuck, I wish I knew that was news. But yeah, I think I stacked along the way, and I was like in profit around these areas. But I was like, okay, cool. And then I was busy for a little bit. And then I just like came back and I was like, oh shit, it's down here. So I was like, cool. It's probably like I missed my chance to exit. It's gonna continue coming down. So I just closed full around somewhere around these areas. So
It's around 5 on the hourly.
around 5 p.m.
Yeah, 5 p.m. Is this? I mean, I have a level. Well, I don't know. Slightly lower on 1992, I guess. But could this be classed as a zucchini entry?
On the hourly, I would say no. What I would say, if this was an hourly, zucchini that I would have looked for, because okay, so for example, if you get, say this is your range, right? If you have a range, say like here, it's your range, right? And then you also have a range above here. As this closes below, if you get a celery here, that's just a breakout celery, right? Anything below that is also still just a breakout celery. But what a zucchini would look like is, well, I mean, like, it doesn't matter what it's called. It's just like you'll understand it when you see it, right? But for example, you had this candle here, so I'm just gonna draw this candle, right? This green one, right? So you're here. If you suddenly get like something that looks like this, right, breaking all the highs, and then actually let me do this. I'll draw the full fake out. Like, say you come up, right? No top wick, so it's, you know, expecting somewhat of a fake out. You come back down, right? Something like this, and then you get a closure below here. So this is the level I'm looking at. So then you get a closure below with this. We'll be looking for this as the zucchini. Yeah. Right? Because this suddenly, I mean, like, you could say this was a zucchini, or you could even say that anywhere here is also a zucchini. I'd say, like, anything below this. Like, if this whole structure was mirrored here, and you had like a closure below here, and then you had this, like, the celery to continue down. Like this, because at that point your range 1 is this fake out here, like from here to here. Your range 2 after this has been created through this, right? So this is a range 2 breakout, which is, you know, in the other direction to where price was originally pushing. So as it's coming down, you had a fake out and the celery to come down. That's basically what we're looking for. Like, you can call it zucchini, you can call it whatever you want, but like, it makes sense in terms of price action, right? You've had a fake out, you're just looking for a closure back into the range, some confirmation, potentially a break of the highs to come down. Yeah. But yeah, essentially that's that.
That bearish candle with no top wick that kind of broke all the lows. Yeah, that one, could that be considered like liquidity potentially to go up? Like, I wouldn't have taken that buy just because it wouldn't have been steep enough for me, and the level around 94 was like more of a decision level for me.
Yeah.
But could you have perceived that potentially as like liquidity to go up?
Yeah, I mean, so because I didn't know it was news, right? That's exactly what I was thinking, right? You probably did.
Yeah.
You grabbed liquidity here. You had a rejection. Your hourly, for me, closed above, right? Closed above here. So the last time you closed above, you
Yeah.
filled up to these areas, right, and potentially here. So that's what I was looking for: a flip, and then a kind of drive towards around 2003, 2006. And I was understanding, okay, you probably want to break some of the lows, but you also did create this. So I think I took a first position somewhere around these areas. No, not that high. Somewhere around here, basically. Because the 5 just pushed very aggressively, but that's what I was looking for. But now that I know it's news, it's a completely different story. Like, I wouldn't have traded that if I knew.
Yeah, I guess I was just asking because when I was looking at it, I was like, oh, that looks like a potential liquidity grab.
Yeah.
But I just I didn't enter because it wasn't steep enough for me. I think like that around that area was like, but if it closes below also, then instead of liquidity, it could just be a breakout as well. So I wasn't really. I had buy levels like a lot lower, so I was just kind of watching it. I just wanted to see if that theory not thinking about news was kind of like what you would anticipate for liquidity. Yeah,
I think essentially I was looking at the same thing. Like, this was definitely, I was looking for liquidity to continue up. I knew you probably need to break these lows, but I didn't want to risk, you know, this potentially being enough liquidity, right? If this wasn't enough liquidity and this was just, you know, price trying to make a high and then you're grabbing more liquidity to go up, then I'm like, okay, cool, I don't want to miss it. So I took a buy around these areas. But if it needs more liquidity and it's coming down, you probably need liquidity below these areas, right? Below this entire range,
Yeah.
right? So somewhere in this box, right? So you saw some rejections here to come back up to these areas. So what that was just price coming down. It needs more liquidity to continue pushing down, right? But yeah, that's why like potentially these were relatively safer as well once you broke these lows, probably around these areas, right? Because even if you took the buy here, you're understanding that if price wants to drive down, you'll come back up, grab liquidity to come down. So then you can exit break even. It's just I missed the break even point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like focus on what you were saying on having like your levels be set at higher time frame stuff, and
Yeah.
trying not to get so hyper focused on like the 30, 20, 15 minute levels, because then I get distracted. But if I have it set at those bigger levels, I can see like when something is breaking multiple like levels. Like if I'm watching a higher time or like a smaller time frame, like I can see it hit the bigger level, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of what I was looking at.
Yeah, for sure. I think, like, because for example, right, I didn't know it was news. If you didn't know it was news, and then you kind of were just looking at the 15-minute time frame, this would have looked so clean, right? You started pushing back up after this. You tapped this level, started pushing back up. You closed doji, but like kind of respecting here, right? So at any given point, I was like, okay, this is probably gonna flip to drive up if it wanted to, right? So as it came down, broke some of these lows, I was like, yeah, okay, probably entered first position, because you haven't filled the entire range as well. So that's what I was looking for. But
I was looking on the 30.
yeah,
It was basically the 1 hour just it had that massive bottom wick. I was looking at the fake out back into the range, and then as so we got that big bearish candle closure. And then
this one or the news candle, or which news candle?
The one after the news candle.
So
you got that bearish, but then the bullish closure up.
yeah,
And then I was expecting it to come back up to break the highs, and then
right,
experience liquidity. So I took it as it was coming down after the bullish closure. As I managed to get out break even, but yeah.
Okay. I would say the thing is like the 30-minute, the hourly closure was okay, but your 30-minute, 15-minute, everything, it closed so bearish. Like you closed below here, you were respecting, cool, right? That was fine for now, but then you closed below, right? You closed below, you filled the range, right? Cool, but then you could just have been in this range here. This was more of a liquidity grab potentially to continue down, right? But I would say like it doesn't look as clean if you're looking at it like on the 30-minute, because you closed below, right, back into these areas. We knew it was clean traffic down here, right? But like as you close below here, at any given point you close below a 92, you start driving down, and this could just be liquidity for us to continue down towards these levels. In these cases, you didn't grab that liquidity, so you didn't drive. But here you broke those highs, and then you started closing below. So yeah, I was expecting this to come down further, but I guess it kind of just ended up staying around here.
Yeah.
What was the 3 p.m. news?
It was revised consumer sentiment.
Revised consumer sentiment. Oh, okay. Was it a red folder?
Yeah, that's right.
How did I miss a red folder? What the fuck? Okay. I can't call myself a trader. I just missed news. Jesus. That's the thing. Like, I'm so used to having Don just in the background for the stream telling me what news is and when news is that I'm just like, I just don't look at news. And then like on days like this, it just it's unfortunate, but it's okay. This is why it's good to trade a funded account, guys, because it's not your own funds that you're losing.
How does that work? Do you like make money at some point? Like,
yeah, so you have to pass some tests. Like they have a phase 1, phase 2, and it's like for the one I'm doing, it's like a 13% total profit. Like so, 100k, you have to make 13k to pass both phases. And then once you do that, then they'll give you like a live account to trade with, and then you can take profit split. I think like 80% of what you make every 2 weeks. But essentially, you buy the account for like a lot less than what you're actually trading. So I think the account only costs like £300 or something, and then you're suddenly able to trade like 100k.
That's cool.
Yeah. But we'll see. The journey has just begun. We'll see when we pass the. I'm not in a rush to pass the funded. So, and if you want funded advice, you go to Huss. If Huss is still here, he's the funded man. So, I think he recently passed another funded as well. Madness.
Yeah, he's been killing it.
Elvis, what is a pineapple? A pineapple is just a second position that we take, which gives us a better entry point plus a potential exit point as well if price goes against us. So, for example, let's say the buy that I took here, right? A pineapple would be potentially the other buy that I took around here. Right? That's a pineapple, so that now I can potentially exit around here at break even, which I missed. Any other questions, guys? I feel like not too much is really, and also Don didn't really stream today, so I guess a lot of people didn't have those positions.
I mean, would it sell after the 4 p.m. candle, hourly candle being valid?
Sell after this?
Yeah.
I would say you probably could have taken this 30-minute fake out back into this range, but that's probably it. Like if you look at a 30-minute, yes, but just based on the hourly, no. I would say because as this is coming up, right, you understand that this is probably liquidity to continue down, and then once you got a closure back into this range, you can probably take this down to fill the range. So you probably could have taken this to here. So what's that? That's like 20 pips. But the hourly closure, which one is this is the hourly closure at 4 p.m. After
See,
4 p.m.
I didn't have a range in 1989.
You didn't really. Oh, you didn't have anything here?
Yeah, I said 1987 instead.
Yeah, I mean, you probably. Let's see. I just have it here based off of current price, like this is not too bad. Some stuff there, some wicks around here. I think 89 is a higher time frame, potentially as well. 89 might be a daily. 89, yeah, 89 is a daily. Is a daily right here. All of this. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it might not be exactly there, but yeah, I think you probably could have taken the fake out. Anything else, probably not, I would say.
Yeah, I like lost the charts then. And when
Yeah.
I guess I could take a sell, but at the same time, I've no idea what's been going on, so.
Yeah, I think. Oh, Don was also in a trade early, like AM for us, like midnight for us in London. What was it like? It was like here, somewhere like this, expecting it to tap right, and I think we got in like around these areas, and he exited full around like here or something, like 1 AM or like whatever it was, or like 4 AM. Yeah, he exited on the 4 AM candle. Yeah, I mean, you potentially could get something like that today, right? You have some structure being formed here. You understand that there's a high chance you're probably going to come up to at least 92, right? So maybe taking the buys up to here is not too bad. I'm just worried that you'll just continue to, you maybe have a stop below here, but a buy up to 92 might not be too bad.
What would you say is the difference between like yesterday's buy and then if you did that right now? Because it literally looks exactly the same.
I would say the main thing is that you were very bullish previously. Now you're very bearish, right? So the buy doesn't make as much sense. So the buy here is the only confirmation there is that, oh, okay, price looks like it needs liquidity to come down, right? Whereas in this case, it was price needs liquidity to either go up, or if it needs liquidity to come down, it needs to go up as well. So that's why I'm not taking the buys immediately. If not, I would have just said.
You're just understanding what, like, you're not in that same part of the
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if this happened like around like if this price pushed up and then it did something like this, yeah, I'd probably look for some buys to go up, right, to tap certain areas, but only after something like this has happened, right, where you had this wick. So something like this was nice, but I guess because it's bearish, it's a little bit more difficult. But yeah, cool.
Actually, it sells at 505. I wasn't sure whether it was valid or was just taking a trade for the sake of taking a trade.
505. So the sell's here.
Yeah, I took it on the break of the lows.
Break of these lows.
On the range lows, I guess.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it depends where your levels are, right? If your level is like, I mean,
I was looking left and it was like quite clean traffic. That was.
Yeah, but you had all of this, so you didn't close below here. I probably would have waited for a closure below here, because you've already filled this entire clean traffic, right? Your next little bit of clean traffic is probably only up to like here, 88, maybe 88.2. So that's not that big of a range suddenly. That's what, 14 pips. But I would say you definitely needed to close below. You know, look at this, right? You close below, start driving, but you also grab liquidity beforehand, right? So if you did get a close below here, I would need a top wick to come down. But because you already generated this, a closure below would be off the rip here in this case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like you've created us another level around these sorts of areas, which is nice. 1986, 1987. Yeah, that's not bad. How's price moving right now? Yeah, you're probably just going to see it, you know, slowly trickle up, I would say. So, but I can't take the buys until, you know, you potentially get some bottom wicks. So if price does something like this, where it just ranges like this, you get a bottom wick, right? And then a flip, potentially I'll take this to go up to this sell area, and then I'll probably look for these to come down. Because I'm understanding that you currently have no liquidity, so you need to build up that liquidity, right? So as it continues to, you know, break the highs on the lower time frame, break the lows on the lower time frame, then it'll, you know, grab more liquidity, and then you'll just slowly build up to more volume, right? But yeah, cool. Anything else, guys? If not, I'm probably gonna end it around here.
Nope.
Cool.
Yeah, nothing.
Nice. Well, yeah, thank you very much, guys, for joining up. Zooms, especially. I will see you guys tomorrow for a breakdown. I'll still do it, even though there's no trading tomorrow because of Thanksgiving. I'll still do the breakdown because I'm sure price will be at a different point, and then we'll have a slightly different analysis. And it's probably also a good time to see, to ask any questions.
Well, if your positions happen, like if the price aligns with your levels tomorrow, are you gonna take the position?
Probably not. So I did a bit of testing previously in the last couple months of when it's like a bank holiday or when it's like a public holiday, and then trading those days. Typically, the volume is kind of fucked. Like it moves very sporadically.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably just gonna, like, this is the first time I'm not gonna trade a public holiday. But I'm just gonna see how it goes. I'll just watch price, but I'm not gonna do anything. But if you've done it before, then maybe it is for you, and then we can discuss it tomorrow. But for me, I'm probably just going to stay out of the charts tomorrow.
Cool.
Yeah. You want me to tell you about Dogecoin? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I held a little bit of Dogecoin like 2, 3, 4 years ago. Man. Like, I don't even... Is that still a thing? Do people still trade Doge? I don't think so, right? Man, we're not laughing. You can trade anything you want, but it's just we only... Like, you can laugh at me. I only trade gold, man. So... But yeah, cool. Cheers, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. For the last session of the week.
Cheers, bro.
Yeah.
Cheers.
See you guys.
Yeah.
For everybody on the YouTube... thanks for joining up, and if you want to join the membership, so the Zoom access where you can just ask me questions, I didn't share volume just now, but you had a bunch of people asking me questions live on Zoom just now. If you want to join, just send me a message on Discord, or you can send me a message on Instagram through EvolutionDVS. And I think if you scroll up, Nightbot will have that somewhere. Oh, he actually didn't post today. But yeah, you can find me on at EvolutionDVS on Instagram, and just ask me what you want there. But yeah, cool guys. Thanks for joining up. Thanks for the 20 odd people who came today, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another breakdown. Right? I think that's the last of the week. Thursday night, last of the week. So be there. Thanks for joining, and peace.